Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Comrade! Labor right, them a go down, bang. Them a go down, bang. Them a go down. Is that? Margie, him a God picking it. No hope their work if you touch Margie. Margie, him a God picking it. No hope their work if you touch Margie. We now vote for Labour. Orange we a come out in now. If you love the PNP, who no support for Marky G. Jamaica just come along with we. People time come, people time come, people time is.
The recent revelation of the Andrew Holness-led government's decision to impose a gag order on cabinet ministers and government lawmakers from commenting on matters related to the Integrity Commission and the identity of the 6 parliamentarians who are under investigation for illicit enrichment is both shocking and deeply concerning. The notion of creating a so-called cabinet policy to shield ministers from speaking the truth and to evade accountability is a glaring attempt to obstruct transparency and to evade responsibility among elected officials to the Jamaican people. The excuse that this policy is intended to preserve the confidentiality of cabinet deliberations is a misdirection from its true intent. In reality, it seems to be a political maneuver to shield parliamentarians from being held to account for their actions and potential wrongdoings. This is not the kind of leadership and governance that Jamaicans deserve. The very essence of democratic governance hinges on transparency, accountability, and the duty of elected officials to provide explanations to the people they serve. This so-called policy undermines these fundamental principles and erodes the trust between the government and its citizens. The People's National Party views this cabinet policy as a dangerous subversion of democratic values. It is an abuse of power at the highest level, and it contradicts the ideals of open and honest governance that the Jamaican people have a right to expect from their elected representatives. The PNP's stance is in stark contrast to this approach. We have taken the responsible step of voluntarily disclosing the status of all our parliamentarians with regard to the investigation by the Integrity Commission. This demonstrates our commitment to transparency and accountability. Jamaica is watching closely, and it is evident that we are not the same. One side of the aisle will go to great lengths to deceive the Jamaican public, while the other side seeks to uphold the values that underpin a healthy and functioning democracy. The signing of the Integrity Commission's Leadership Code of Conduct is another example of this. We call upon the government to reconsider their decision, to respect the principles of transparency and accountability, and to put the interests of the Jamaican people first. Our nation deserves leadership that is open, honest, and dedicated to serving the best interests of all citizens of Jamaica, land we love. We live in an era when the people have lost faith in politicians and the institutions of governance. We have passed laws in this House and in this Parliament to put in place a robust anti-corruption framework. But there is no demonstrated political will to deliver accountability. At least 5 ministers of this JLP government and numerous politically appointed board chairmen have had to step down for various misdeeds or even corruption. It is only the reports of the Auditor General, the pressure from the opposition, and the revulsion of the wider public that forced them to step down in each of these occasions. That was the only reason why. This has to stop, Madam Speaker. Without effective accountability, misconduct continues and the public becomes more and more cynical. I pledge to the people of Jamaica that the next PNP government will be different. We will make whatever further adjustments to the anti-corruption laws and institutional framework are required to make them effective. I brought impeachment legislation to this House to hold parliamentarians to account for their serious misdeeds, a promise which the Prime Minister made when he was campaigning in the run-up to the 2016 election in his manifesto, but has not delivered. And when we form government, Madam Speaker, we will seek to pass that impeachment legislation into law so that no parliamentarian can bring the public, our name and our reputation into disrepute by their antics out the road without suffering some accountability for it. And I have told my colleagues on this side, Madam Speaker, when we form government under my leadership, don't expect leniency, don't expect accommodation when it comes to that kind of wrongdoing or any kind of wrongdoing. Expect full accountability. We will govern with integrity. We will govern with integrity. Public resources are for the benefit of the people and not for any individual's personal gain or profit. Time come for a new direction.